Hello lovely people, how are you all today? What day is it? It's Christmas! Happiest of Christmases everybody. Cheers! How are you all? Did you all manage to stay in bed all night and not take a little sneak? I've literally just poured this, honestly. I'm having a little rosé spritzer. Thank you, Gabriella. Cheers. There are a whole load of thank yous to come today. But before we do anything, we need to pull our crackers and get our hats on, don't we? Oh, good bang. Oh my goodness, right. Who's ready for the world's worst joke? What did I get? What was my free gift? Oh, I need to uncurl it a bit, but I got a bookmark. Yay! I always need bookmarks. Come on, the important bit, the hat and the motto. For those of you with children or grandchildren, what time were you woken up this morning? Oh, happy memories. There was one year, we always used to go to my aunt and uncle's for Christmas because my uncle is a minister, so he works on Christmas Day. I'm just trying to get all the points of my crown to stand up. They're all a bit bent. Yeah, I was really naughty. I can't remember whether it was my aunt or mum had set the alarm clock. Hang on, how do I look? That's better. Yeah, it was either my mum or my aunt had set the alarm clock and they said we were not allowed to get up and leave the bedroom until the alarm had gone off. I think, if I remember correctly, it was set for 7 or 7:30, something like that. Went to bed, but 15 or so minutes later, I turned the dial back to 5 a.m. So the alarm went off at 5 o'clock in the morning. Come on, let's start Christmas, yeah! Basically, I only confessed to this crime about, I think it was about 2 years ago. So for years and years and years, my aunt and my mum were like, you must have set it wrong, you must have set it wrong, no, you must have set it wrong. What a bad child I was. I think I must have been, oh, I don't know, 9 or 10. Oops, my bad. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, this is really bad. What do you call 2 robbers? A pair of knickers. Should get it, because when you rob something, you nick it. Right, here's yours. Shall I pull it for you? Okay, I'll pull it for you. You ready? Oh, it didn't bang. Do I dare pull the banger with no protection? Fab. Right, let me see what your free gift is. Oh, you got, I don't know what that is. It says the mystery calculator. Shall I open it for you? Are you all fingers and thumbs today? I'll do the opening, if I can. The mystery calculator. Is it going to be any more mysterious than my calculator? Oh my goodness, look. It's a concertina of cardboard with a ton of numbers on. It says, the complete set consists of 6 cards printed with a series of numbers. Show all the cards to a friend and ask him or her to select one number from any card. Show the other 5 cards to your friend, asking him or her to say whether the number appears on these cards. Take all the cards on which your friend says the number appears, and together, the top left-hand corner number of each card, the total is the number your friend... Do you want to play select a number? That sounds a little bit complicated. I might leave that to look at it properly later. Okay, let's put your hat on. Oh, you have a red one too. We're hat twins. How lovely. I'm going to have to stand up and lean over to put this on you. Hold on a sec. Oh, did you catch a glimpse? Look, this is really naughty. See, I'm in my pyjama bottoms. Oops. These are my mountain escape pyjama bottoms. I'll explain that in a second. Right, here's your motto. What do you call a chicken in a shell suit? An egg. Terrible. Right, so, a little confession. It's not, for me, actually Christmas Day. I'm slightly cheating this year. You're going to be seeing this on Christmas Day. Hello, on Christmas Day. I'm a couple of days early because for the first time in ages, I mean years, probably a decade, I'm actually going to spend some time with family this Christmas. Yay! So I'm having some time with my sister, my brother-in-law, and my nephew, who's now a man. How is he a man already? It seems like yesterday he was 6 years old and I was reading to him in bed. And now he's just left university. So yeah, my nephew, my mum-in-law, does that make sense? My sister's mother-in-law. I don't know whether I'm going to have time to hook up with my uncle and my cousins. My 2 cousins live up there as well, and their partners. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of family time. And like I said, I think, I think, you know, all those years that I was nursing, you supposedly only have to do alternate Christmases, but I used to volunteer to do all of them because, well, it's amazing to be with the families and the kids on Christmas Day. Everyone works so hard to try to make it special for these little nippers who are stuck in isolation over Christmas. They're not even allowed family visits, a lot of the kids, because they're in isolation. So yeah, all those nursing years, honestly, yeah, I think it's probably about a decade since I did Christmas with family. Oh, that's better. I was suddenly feeling boiling hot, so I just took a couple of layers off. Is it this? I feel like my cheeks have gone really, really ruddy already. I've not even got the heating on. Anyway, cheers. So, like I say, this is actually the day before Christmas. It's a bit of a cheat, but then, hey, I'm having my Christmas with you. I'm going to have 2 Christmases, one with you and one with my family. Yay! And speaking of Christmases with family, this is my little rag doll called Topsy Turvy. Now, I was mentioning her on my Facebook page the other day. Oh, the reason she's called Topsy Turvy is because there's her face. You take her hat off and you turn it around and put it the other side. And look, the other side, she's asleep. So she came up in conversation because I just made all that Raggedy Ann bunting. And Raggedy Ann isn't a character that I was familiar with, which is kind of amazing because when I was in book dealing, my speciality was children's and illustrated books. But yeah, I never came across her. But having done a bit of looking up, I was like, oh, she looks very like my little Miss Topsy Turvy. And I was recalling the Christmas when I got her, talking of my sister. So I thought it was 1970, but I think it must have been 1971 because I don't think I would have remembered the Christmas of 1970 because I would have only been 2 and a bit. But I had 2 sets of grandparents. The grandparents I'm always talking about, and the ones who in Dorset, who are self-sufficient, who taught me everything I know about the garden, they're my mum's parents. Gorgeous, and I miss them both all the time. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. It's tough, isn't it, at this time of year? It just makes everything more poignant. Look, just on that subject, I know, my hanky's ready. I know there are quite a few of you who have lost someone this year. And there are quite a few who've lost someone actually really, really recently. So let's get this done so we can cheer up again, because I know from my own experience, the first Christmas without someone is so hard. It's so hard. And I would like to say it gets easier as each Christmas goes by, but I don't know that it does, because one flickering thought of my granddad, and I'm in tears again, and he died 20 odd years ago. Oh, fiddlesticks, hang on. Let's have some wine. Drink wine quick, everyone, drink. Oh my goodness, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, guys. Anyway, yeah, so please know, all of you, any of you, you see, this is why I need to invest in waterproof mascara. I'm such a blubber. Yeah, all of you, please know that my heart goes out to you. I empathise, and there's nothing to say other than allow those emotions. Don't bottle them up. If, like me, you need a good cry, jolly well have a good cry. And then once you've had your good cry, you can put your silly hat back on and get on with the rest of the day. What I was trying to say before I interrupted myself is I'm not that set of grandparents. They were gorgeous, adore them, miss them. The other set, I didn't know my grandpa very well because he died when I was really quite young. What I do remember is him being so tall. Gosh, it's obviously where I got my height from. And I remember walking through the village with him, looking at his feet on the pavement. It's my abiding memory. And his stride was so long. Obviously he had great long levers of legs. I had to run to keep up with him on a slow walk. It's kind of pretty much the only memory I have left of Grandpa is that walk. I can still picture it so distinctly. Down a lane, on the left is a field that had horses in. He knew I loved horses, so he'd walk that way, and that would give me a chance to either look at the horses, or if they were near the fence I could pet them a little bit. But yeah, anyway, my grandma, oh dear. Now I know we're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but she was a bit of a piece of work, shall we say. Anyway, I'm coming back to topsy-turvy now. She spoilt my sister rotten and was not very nice to me. So the Christmas day that I opened my lovely little rag doll, she came in this outfit. It's so filthy, needs a wash, and a change, and it was a little night dress. And that was it. That's my Christmas present. My sister got a doll, but it wasn't a sort of dumpy, squidgy doll like this. It was a beautiful doll. She called Goldilocks because it had this beautiful tumbling blonde hair. It was a rag doll again, but it was made much more finely. It came with tons of clothes, tons of changes of clothes. It came with a cot. It came with all these accessories. She was just, honestly, she was unwrapping presents for about 2 hours. It took me 2 minutes to unwrap Topsy. I do remember at the time thinking, well, Topsy, it's just me and you, girl, against the world. Come on, let's do it. Maybe that's where I got my stubborn streak, right back then in Christmas in 1971. Excuse me, who knows? It was funny because that particular Christmas, I felt so angry towards my sister. I felt so much. It was just the injustice and the unfairness of it, that she just had this mountain of presents and I had this one doll. Of course, it didn't take me too long. Probably over the course of 2 or 3 years or so, to maybe when I was getting towards 6 or 7, I was quite a perceptive kid. I realised that it was not my sister's fault. It was not any of her doing. It was all Grandma's fault. So I think I was probably angry with my sister for 2 years and hated her for 2 years. But I quickly grew out of that, and of course now I love her to bits. And you know, it's funny, isn't it, when we're kids, oh my goodness, that's all Christmas is about, isn't it? It's the presents. That's all we care about. Stuff the adults, stuff playing games, stuff like, oh, the whole family's together. Kids don't care about any of that. They just want to get their filthy little hands on the goodies. I speak from experience. I was a kid once. And you know, when you're a kid, it's all about quantity and size and da-da-da. Of course, we grow out of that. Well, I hope we all grow out of that. And as each year goes by, we relish things which, the smaller things, the more humble things, the things which have significance. You know, for instance, if someone could gift to me right now a £2,000 flat screen telly, 78 inches, I don't know the sizes of TVs, but someone could gift me that, like £2,000, it wouldn't mean a thing to me. It would not mean a thing to me, except if I could take it back and get the money back. Whereas if someone, for instance, I can demonstrate now because they're on. Can I do it elegantly? Probably not. But when someone gifts me, can you see, a pair of hand-knitted socks, I would take a pair of hand-knitted socks over a £2,000 TV any day of the week. Because what am I going to do with the telly? Nothing. What I'm going to do with a pair of socks? I'm going to have happy, cosy feet. So, yes, thank goodness we grow out of that phase, eh? And even now, you know, obviously since going without a wage, me being able to gift to my friends and family, it's taken on, I was going to say it's taken on a whole different meaning. It hasn't, because I think I've always tried to gift thoughtfully and not flashily. That's hard to say after half a glass of spritzed wine. Remember, it's spritzed, half of it's water. Yeah, I think I've always gifted quite frugally anyway, but that's even more so now. So what I'm finding is I'm gifting it quite a lot of the time. It's about time. It's about the time and effort that's gone into that present, rather than the money that's gone into it. Oh, I feel so hot. Is it time for a mince pie yet? Oh, do you know what? It was so lovely. A couple of days ago, I went to the bank to pay in some money. I'll come to that in a second, you naughty, lovely people. Yeah, I went to pop some money in, and I think I had a bit of a harried face on. So the last few weeks have been mental, hectic, busy. Oh my goodness, my thoughts are everywhere. Do you know what? It occurs to me every now and again that I should do like Richard and Paul do when they do their Sunday chat. And they have their list with bullet points. I don't. I turn the camera on and yes, anyway, it's been a really, really hectic few weeks. Honestly, I don't know where time has gone. It feels like 2 minutes ago, it was the middle of November. I felt a little behind in the garden, but I thought I've got plenty of time to catch up before Christmas. The next thing you know, it's Christmas. So for example, I haven't got any decorations up this year. None at all. That's okay, because firstly, I don't go mad with decorations anyway, but secondly, all of your lovely cards have become my decorations this year. Aren't they gorgeous? There's a real kind of combination of, there's homemade, there are these, I've had a few like this year. Oh, this one's actually from my sister, but slightly three-dimensional. Can you see that? It's a little Austrian winter fair market scene. She was in Austria a few weeks ago. I love this one. This is the church at Haworth. So any of you who are a fan of the Brontes will know Haworth. Hopefully many of you have been able to get to Haworth at some point in your lives. It's amazing, it's so beautiful. I mean, it gets really crowded, it's full of tourists. I'm not surprised, I'm one of them. We go and do our Bronte pilgrimage. So that one was so special. Again, handmade, they're all beautiful, I've got a pile down here which I haven't even opened properly yet. I'll open them with you in a second, excuse me. This is a residual bit of snot from having a few tears. Yes, so I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Gifting, oh yes, the bank. So I popped into the bank and that's right, I've been rushing around. I was like, what? It's the 20th, 21st of December when I went to the bank. How can it be, you know, nearly Christmas already? That's bonkers. So she must have seen this kind of like, look on my face, oh, serve me, I'm in a hurry. And as she pushed under the window, as she sort of pushed the sort of printout receipt, on the top of it was a little mince pie. She gave me a mince pie through the window. What a beautiful week. I had a chocolate in the window the other day at the train station when I went off to see my great aunt Teapot. I had that beautiful hug in the queue at the post office with the crying old lady who had to leave her garden, then a mince pie at the bank. Oh, I love people. People are great. Cheers to people. So, anyway, the point is, I don't know what the point is. The point is that it sort of crept up on me this year. And here we are. And I can't think of a more lovely bunch of people to spend my time with than you. Now, unlike other years, after this video goes out, after you see this video, in the past, I've always sat on the computer for a couple of hours after the video just to make sure I'm available to chat to you, because I know there are quite a lot of you who spend Christmas on your own and you enjoy that kind of bit of interaction with me afterwards. I'm really sorry. This year, I'm actually going to turn the computer off for 2 whole days. I'm not going near it. I think I probably need that myself. So I will catch up with you all probably on the 27th, but just for Christmas Day and Boxing Day itself, I'm turning the computer off and probably going to be asleep on a sofa somewhere. Right, now I want to talk about gifts. Yes, gifts. I just needed a quick pee, so I thought while I was at it, I might as well top up. Cheeky. It's funny, isn't it, at Christmas how, I mean, it's not the morning, not by any means, but it's like, yeah, it's perfectly acceptable to drink champagne at 8 in the morning before you've even eaten your breakfast. Of course it is. It's only one day, isn't it? Right, now, the subject of gifts. You are the most amazingly thoughtful, wonderful, generous people. I'm going to start crying again. Stop it. What is it about Christmas? Listen, it's not even Christmas. I'll cry any day. You've all been so kind, and I know, because we have some personal contact, there are some of you who are really struggling too in life, but you've still found some way of gifting to me, and honestly, I really am going to start crying. I've been so touched by you all. Right, get a grip, Vivi. So, I haven't opened everything. I was thinking, as I've done in the last couple of years, I was going to open some things with you, but we'll open a couple, shall we? Shall we open a couple? Yeah, let's open a couple. So I've got some more cards to put up, but as I started to open them, I went, oh, there's things inside. So, for example, this one's from lovely Brian, and he sent me, look, he sent me a little tree decoration. Oh, that's so cute. Can you see? It's a little sparkly leaping stag reindeer. Just on that, I was saying I haven't put my decorations up this year because I just ran out of time. It's ridiculous. I don't do much by way of decorating, but it's like gifting actually. It's the simpler, the more meaningful, the better. So the few bits and pieces of tree decorations I have all either been gifted to me or I've made them myself. So for instance, I've got a little stained glass tree that my cousin Naomi made. I've shown you her stained glass and fused glass bits on my Facebook page. So the beautiful glass and wooden toadstool that I've got in my shed, that's one of her pieces. I've got a beautiful, the most gorgeous, stunning glass bauble from Fabergé, from one of my beautiful Russian friends. I've got decorations from all over Europe where family members or myself, when I've been travelling, have bought little bits and pieces. So that's really lovely. That little decoration's lovely because I don't do many, but the ones I do are all significant. So next year, when I do get around to decorating, I can add that. Seeds, oh my goodness, swan gourd and some, oh look, cosmos in bright orange colours. I've never seen cosmos in such bright colours. Now, seeds, I'm going to have a mega sort out. By the way, have you got a present to open? Go on, fetch a present and open it with me. Come on, let's open together. Yay. Yeah, with the seeds. I've got so many of my own that are left over from last year. I've got so many of my own that I've saved from the harvests this year. I've been gifted a load. So I think probably in that first week or so of January, I'll have a sit down at the table. I'll bring you along when I'm doing it. I'm going to have a big old seed sort out to see what things can I give away, because there will be way more than I need. Where have I got little gaps? What do I need to order? But enough of that. Charlene, more seeds. Oh my goodness. Some squash, some nasturtium, some marigold. Oh, they're from M.I. Gardner. I love M.I. Gardner. Fabulous. And this company I don't know. So True Seed. These are American, so some of you in America may know. This was a really cute little thing from from Corinne. Sorry, it's a little matchbox of mindfulness. It's that sweet. There's a little candle in there. You pop a little candle, and then there's some seeds in there. So I shall have a little moment with that. This is a beautiful, now I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's pronounced simply Keat or if it's Kete or something like that. This is from Joanna in New Zealand. This is what she makes, absolutely gorgeous. So this is obviously, I don't know if it's it's traditional Maori. Oh, okay, so Keat is the Maori word for basket. And this is adorable. And I was thinking, well, next year when I have decorations, I can pop this up and it says, pop a sweetie inside it. Talking of sweeties, thank you to those of you. I've been getting little bars of chocolate, little bags of sweeties. My goodness, my teeth are in bad enough state anyway, but yay, thank you. Jacqueline, who appears as a colourist. Where's her card? Can you see? That's her card there. In my shed, you'll always see over this shoulder on my pin board, right at the top, is one of her works. So this is some carrot seed. You all know me so well, don't you? Oh, this has just literally arrived a couple of days ago. This is from our Clarice in France. I always think, wee Clarice, because she always says, a wee natter with Clarice. And also she is quite wee, isn't she? So Clarice lives in France. Clarice's French Gardening is her channel. She has sent me, oh Clarice, thank you, gorgeousness. Some Rose de Berne. I think this is her saved seed, because mine, this is my second year now since I brought that tomato back from France. Didn't come to anything, so I had no seed to save. So thank you for that. and some Muscat de Provence. Fabulous, I love my squash. See what I mean? I'm going to have a really, really mega squash sort out, aren't I? Did you open something yet? What did you get? Was it exciting? I'm just going to open this one because I don't want to talk about something else. This is from Lisa. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho. Oh, tea bags. Lovely. I love me tea bags. Oh, I should just say, for those of you who don't see my Facebook page, the lovely Siggy sent me an advent calendar with a difference. So it's a sort of like a concertina of cardboard with pockets in it. It's hard to describe, it's all used up now obviously. But for each day of Advent it was a different tea bag, as in different herbal teas. Fabulous. Right, I've got a couple more things there. I don't want to say lots of names and then forget some because that would be awful, but it's safe to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, some of you, you're very naughty, but it's really hugely appreciated. Some of you have tucked a note or two, as in money note, in with cards. I'm truly astonished, overwhelmed and humbled by your generosity. Now, I'm a practical girl, I'm a sensible girl, and my life over the last 2.5 years has become not about having treats, but always sort of thinking ahead to the next problem and trying to head that problem off at the pass. So of course, and it's the same with, you know, when I make a sale in the shop, every time I'm making sales in the shop, I'm not then going out and splashing out and giving myself treats. That money, I'm either paying bills with it, or I'm ploughing it straight back into the business by way of I buy more fabric, or I've just spent 50 quid on packaging materials, and you know, I'm always ploughing it back into the business that is me surviving without a wage. So of course, when your little notes, big notes, were fluttering out of cards, some of you, thank you, have done it electronically. But my first thought was, fantastic, I'll set that aside for an emergency. So for example, I know I don't want to say it too loud because I don't want to give it any ideas, but my computer, my laptop, it's out of warranty, but it's also now out of I bought a 5-year extended service plan. It's run out, it ran out in April. And I know that at some point it's going to need replacing. The sewing machine desperately needs servicing. So those two things have been on my mind for quite a time. So obviously I thought, right, that's it, fine, great, thank you ever so much. But quite a few of you have said, please treat yourself, give yourself a treat. And you know what? You're right, that's your gift to me, is so that I can have a treat. And I'm so happy for that, so happy for it. So I've got 3 treats in mind, and I hope you will all be okay with what I've decided to treat myself to and with. Of course, any excess, I'm not going to go mad with my treats, but any excess is going to be set aside for when I have to buy a new computer. So, treat number 1. A nice selection of cheeses for Christmas. Yay! Can't wait. So, cheese is really expensive, especially the kind I like. So that will be really massively enjoyed. So thank you. Treat number 2. Oh my goodness. I have done this thing once in maybe the last 10 maybe even 15 years. I'm going to go to the pictures. Yay! So, the last film I saw was about 5 years ago. What was it called? It had the gorgeous Ranulph Fiennes in it. Grand Hotel Budapest. That's the last film I saw at the pictures. Before that, I don't know, it's probably Greece in 1978. So anyway, I've decided that this is not something I would dream of doing. Not in a month of Sundays. So that's what I mean about when you were saying to me, you've all been saying to me, please treat yourself, give yourself a treat. What if I had a tenner in my hand, what is the very last thing I would do with it? The very last thing I would do with it is go to the cinema, because that is such a luxury, such a humongous luxury. But I'm gonna. So I think probably the film I'll go and see, I will let you know. My sister suggested, because I'll probably go with her, she was suggesting going to see Little Women. There's a new adaptation of Little Women, and I love that book, so why not? And my third treat, oh my goodness, actually my face is starting to hurt from grinning now. Suzanne in Italy put the idea into my head. It's such a good idea. Oh, and again, I'm not going to go bonkers. It's not going to be a 50 quid job. It's going to be a 10 quid job. But Suzanne said to me, please treat yourself to a meal out. A meal you haven't had to grow. A meal you haven't had to cook. And a meal you haven't had to wash up afterwards. You know, as I was reading her words, because she wrote me a lovely long chatty letter too, I thought, wow, you are absolutely right. And again, it's one of those things. I went out for a meal in the summer when my sister visited for our birthdays, and her mother-in-law had treated us to a meal out. I had a Greek salad. Yay, big treat meal, but no, that's exactly what I wanted, because it was in the middle of July. We were having a birthday celebration. We're both July girls. And my tomatoes and cucumbers weren't ready in the garden yet. And I was gagging for a tomatoey, cucumbery Greek salad. So that's what I had. The meal out before that was nearly 2 years ago, when I had friends staying with me from overseas. And I planned all the meals we were going to have. I had all the veggies for it from the garden. Then their flight got delayed 24 hours in the end, I think. So they had to stay another night, and they said, right, that's it, come on, we're taking you out. So we went to the local pub, and I had nachos. Love nachos. And speaking of nachos, excuse me, they're coming to arrest me for doing Christmas too early. So, my favourite kind of food is Mediterranean, Near Eastern, North African. It's all around the Mediterranean, basically. But one of my real favourite foods, and of course I don't eat it because I don't grow the stuff for it, is I love Tex-Mex. Oh my goodness, I adore nachos. I love that sour cream and guacamole and chunks of tomatoes and love it, love it, love it. So, excuse me while I blow. I thought, why not go out and eat Tex-Mex somewhere? So I was thinking of a few Tex-Mex restaurants that I used to go to back in the day. I don't know if any of them will be there, but there was a really lovely small one, maybe sat 40, really quite small, sort of back of beyond Covent Garden, and it's a place I used to go to quite often with my then boyfriend. And I remember we'd been dating for about 3 months or so we were still in that stage of trying to impress each other. And I think it was the first time we'd gone to that restaurant. So I can't remember what he'd been up to all day. We didn't live together or anything. But all day I'd been sewing a frock. I'd made myself a dress for that evening. And in those days, I was much slimmer than I am now. Really, really slim. I mean, I still had my curves. I still had big boobs and a, big bum. Jessica Rabbit. Think Jessica Rabbit. I was a kind of actual human Jessica Rabbit. So I sewed this frock. It was a sort of a really deep, dark red velvet, almost burgundy velvet. Long sleeves, long all the way to the floor with a kind of slit up the front to the side on one of my legs so I could actually walk. Gorgeous. I knew what I was doing. And anyway, we met at this restaurant and I let him take my coat off. I wouldn't normally do that. I can take my own coat off, thank you very much. But I let him take my coat off and I walked to the table knowing full well what an eyeful he was getting as I walked away. So mean. I mean, I'm not mean. It's not, I ended up with him for about 10 years. But yeah, poor boy, his eyes were out on stalks, his tongue was hanging out. It was a great, great little restaurant. I don't know if it's still there. I have to have a little look around. But yes, Suzanne, what a fantastic idea for a treat. A meal that I haven't had to grow, I haven't had to cook, and I won't have to wash up. I'm so excited to do that. Oh, yes. Now, it's funny, when Suzanne mentioned this to me, I was thinking, I don't know whether to see if a bunch of friends want to go out at the same time, or I'm perfectly happy going to a restaurant on my own. I quite like that thing of being on my own to enjoy my food, people watching. That's always great. The only thing about eating on your own is sometimes you can get shoved in the back by the kitchen on, the loser table. But yeah, I haven't decided whether I want to see if there are friends around who'd like to go out at the same time, or for just me to go on my own and really, really indulge in the moment. But thinking about it, it made me start thinking about my fantasy dinner party and my fantasy dinner party guests. So I decided for my fantasy dinner party I would only invite people who are living, because I know a lot of times when we play this game we invite dead people, but I was thinking, do you know what, I'd prefer living people because they can actually chat back. So my fantasy dinner guests for when I go and eat my Tex-Mex will be Stephen Fry, Sandy Toksvig, David Attenborough and Sir Ranulph Fiennes. I'm only having 4 because I don't want to share my food that much. So I want Stephen Fry and Sandy Toksvig because they're both really bright, intelligent people, incredibly erudite, but they're funny. And they both seem to enjoy laughing. They seem to want to laugh. And in company, I love to laugh. So they're there for the laughs, and the intelligence. David Attenborough is going to be there, of course, because who wouldn't want to just listen to David Attenborough talking for 24 hours? I love his voice anyway, but can you imagine the stories he's got, not just of the wildlife, the natural world, but imagine the stories he's got about all the travel he's had to do with crews, with TV crews, to get all these amazing stories back to us on our TV screens. I mean, they must have had some crazy, bonkers adventures. I mean, we're going right back to, I'm not sure it's before I was born, but I think the late 50s, early 60s, when he did the series Zoo Quest. I mean, I'm imagining that at those times, firstly, all the TV equipment was going to be much bigger than we use now, but also all those roads they were using, probably not made up roads. So yeah, he would have some amazing stories to tell, and I love, well, like I said, I love his voice, but I love listening to stories. And Sir Ranulph Fiennes, for exactly the same reason. I read pretty much everything he's ever written, And I definitely get the impression that he's a recalcitrant old bugger who's probably really rubbish company. But I want to mine him for information. I want to hear all those stories firsthand. You see, that's what I want. That's what I want for my dinner party. I want to just sit back and eat my food and have amazing stories told to me. You can't beat a good raconteur, can you? Oh, see, now I'm thinking there are other good ones, aren't there? Of course, a little bit before my time, but certainly my mum's generation, their go-to raconteur. Oh, I just thought of another one too. Okay, so their go-to raconteur would have been Sir Peter Ustinov, because he could tell a good tale. And now that I'm thinking about it, probably at my table I'd also like Parky, as in Michael Parkinson. That's Parky, isn't it? Yeah, you see, Parky, firstly, he's funny in his own right, but secondly, can you imagine the juice he could spill on all those celebs that he's interviewed over the years? I bet he's had some right divas on his couch. I'm just trying to remember. There was one actress, wasn't there? What's her name? Was it Michelle Pfeiffer? Oh, she was wicked. She was really horrid to him. And of course, when Rod Hull and Emu were on, and Emu attacked him, Parky were not impressed, were he? That's my idea of Yorkshire. Anyway, so yes. I'm going to have to write to Sandy and Stephen to see if they're free any time in the new year. The point is, in my long roundabout way, I'm trying to say thank you. Gifts don't have to be grand, massive gestures. They don't have to be shiny, sparkly, brand new electronics and all that kind of stuff. Your gifts, seeds, I don't know what my gifts are yet because there are some to open. Seeds, tea bags, chocolate, sweeties, wonderful. But the gift of giving me a couple of experiences, a couple of treats that I would not dream of otherwise. Priceless. Absolutely priceless. So, at some point in the next 2 weeks, I will be eating far too much cheese. I will be going to a cinema and sitting in the dark and getting lost in the magic of the moving pictures. And, I don't know when to do it. I might hold on for a while to delay the gratification, but at some point I will be going out and eating a meal that I've had nothing to do with, and I'm going to love it so, so much. So thank you all for making that possible. There's no way in a month of Sundays any of that would be going on in my life if it weren't for all of you. So I'm going to say cheers, happiest of happy Christmases to all of you. Thank you for making mine way more special than I could ever have imagined it being. It's a little Christmas miracle. Thank you. So I will see you all again before too long. Yeah, I've got a few things lined up. I won't speak to you for a little while because, like I said, I'm going to turn off my computer and make the most of some family time, and then make the most of a little bit of alone and quiet time, which I'm so looking forward to. So until then, please, whatever you're doing for your Christmas, however you're doing it, whoever you're doing it with, I hope it's wonderful. I hope you can make the most of it. I hope it gifts you the gift you need most right now. So, until next time, please take care of yourselves. We'll see you all again very, very soon. But until then, have a very, very happy Christmas, everyone.